Hello and welcome to another session in English language, and today we are focusing first on comprehension, and the aspect of comprehension we're focusing on is identifying statutory topics, theme and key sentences of a passage, and then we move on to register on advertising and journalism, and lastly we'll then focus on antonyms. But before all of that, let us review the previous lesson. Welcome back. So like I said, we begin today's lesson with comprehension. How do we identify statutory topics, the theme, which is the central point or central idea, and the key sentences of a passage. Now, what are statutory topics? Statutory topics, we said, are the main topics of a passage. Okay? They are the main topics of a passage. And please, statutory topics are unchanging. They are on matters like the law, journalism, fishery, photography. So there is something the passage is about. So those are what we refer to as what? Statutory topics. So find out what the statutory topic of the passage is all about. Then the next thing is focus on what they call the theme of the passage. The theme of the passage is the main idea or the subject of the passage. So there is a central idea. There's a central idea. So find out what's the central idea, what's the central message, okay, of the what? Passage. So once you can find that out, you then locate the theme of the passage. And lastly, we are focusing on the key sentences. Key sentences comprise the main ideas in each paragraph. So each paragraph in a passage contains what we call key sentences. Now, another word for the word key sentences is topic sentences. Now, the topic sentences contribute more to what we call the theme of the passage. So it's very important that we also locate the key sentences. And the key sentences are contained in the first sentence, okay, in each paragraph. So focus on the first sentence in each paragraph of the passage. So when you do that, you would be able to locate the key sentences, okay? So if you do that, you've successfully found out first the statutory topic, what is the main topic about. Then you find out the theme, what's the central idea or message. And then you find out the key or topic sentences. So we move on to what we call register on advertising and journalism. Advertising, like we know, is a form of what? Selling. How do you relay your messages to your customers? That is what advertising is all about. Then we have what we call mass media. Mass media is a broad or central word for the television, newspaper, and radio. Okay? So the television, newspaper, and radio reach of audience is referred to as what? The mass media. The mass media is an umbrella. Okay, under the mass media, we could then have what you call the print media. We could then have what you call the electronic media. So the mass media is just like a broad way of communication, okay, that includes both television, newspaper, radio, and every other form of media, okay? And please, the reach of the mass media is wider, including social media. So the social media also is under the mass media. Then we have what is called journalism. Journalism is the art of collecting, writing and publishing news through the paper, magazines, radio, or television. So it's some people's profession today. They are journalists. What they do is they collect news items. They publish such news items on newspapers, magazines, radio, or they air them on television. So then you see sometimes they say they grant press conference. Okay, so what do we mean by press conference? An interview by reporters. Okay, that we grant to what? Politicians or film stars. So for instance, a particular film star or politician in Gambia requests a press conference. So he's going to grant reporters the opportunity to ask certain questions. So that's what you call the press conference. Then we also have what is called advertisement. Advertisement is any public announcement designed to sell your goods or publicize an event. So when you say advertisement, we simply mean you are making a public announcement, okay, to either sell a commodity or to publicize an event. Then we have what we call commercials. Commercials can be on radio, they can be on television, and they can also be on social media. So the commercials is a radio or television advertisement. Take note of that. Your commercial is a radio or television advertisement rather. It's also a sponsored or paid, advert by an advertiser. A sponsored or paid advert by an advertiser is called a commercial. So we then have what we call mass communication. Mass communication, from the word mass, simply means that we are reaching a wide range of people or audience, okay, with information at the same time. Okay, we are reaching a wide range of people or audience with information at the same time. That's what we mean by mass communication. Okay, then we have what we call copywriter. A copywriter is a person who writes the words contained in an advertisement. That's what we call a copywriter. The person who writes the words contained in an advert. So we move on to the last segment today, and that is on antonyms. What are antonyms? Antonyms are words which have opposite meanings. Antonyms are words which have opposite what? Meanings. Or they are opposite in meaning to the given word. For instance, friend is the given word. Enemy is the antonym or the opposite of friend. Seldom is the given word. Often is the antonym. Fertile, the given word. Barren is the antonym. Okay? Then we could have some of them that have a level of similarity. For instance, superior is the given word. Inferior is the antonym. Regular is the given word. Irregular is the antonym. I believe you're following. So some of them we could entirely change. Okay, so an example, fertile, you have barren. So there's no similarity. We have friend, we have enemy. There's no similarity. We have opaque, we have transparent. There's no similarity. We have victory, we have defeat. There's no similarity. So there are sometimes we could have given words that have a completely different antonym entirely. Okay, so sometimes we could add prefixes to the word elements and form their antonyms. For instance, the antonym of the word adequate is inadequate. We could have the antonym of legal as illegal. All we just did is added a word element, a prefix. Loyal, disloyal, possible, impossible, regular, irregular, respect, disrespect, appropriate, misappropriate. Okay? Then sometimes we could change the prefix to form their antonyms. We gave examples here. We have ascend. We change the prefix to what? Descend. We have construction. We change that to what? Destruction. We have encourage to what? Discourage. We have export to what? Import. We have obey to what? Disobey. So there are different ways we just change the what? The prefix. Inhale, exhale. Okay? So then sometimes we could change the suffix. We have cheerful, then we have cheerless. We have pitiful, we have pitiless, we have sinful, and we have what? Sinless. So it's all about changing the suffix or changing the prefix or changing the word entirely, but we should get acquainted with that. So with this, we've come to the end of our lesson today. Thank you very much for joining. In order to refresh your memory and recall all that has been taught in today's lesson, I would encourage you to take the test that pops up on your screen.